What's up? Welcome to Movie Schmovie. This is episode number 460. My name is Steve. I'm one of the co-hosts of the show, and as always, I'm joined by
Ron.
Just become reliever Troy and finish what starter Troy started.
I love it. I love it. But that's not Troy. That's John.
No, that's John. I'm reliever John. I'm
Always
starter
John.
John. Actually, this is starter John.
This is starter John. We'll
Yeah.
we'll tag reliever John in later in the pod.
You'll find out when that guy needs to come in. It'll be obvious. My energy will start going way down.
Yeah. Good to see you guys. Glad we could get this going. Technical difficulties aside, we're making it work.
Yes.
And, happy to see you both. Likewise, I'm glad to hear it, guys. Thank you.
Well, I thought it seemed like there was an and or there was something.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I was wondering if anybody else was going to respond.
No,
but it's
I'm
fine.
happy. I'll say
One
this.
direction.
I'll say this. I'm happy to see you both.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Ronald, anything you'd like to say?
Good to see you guys.
Okay.
Love it. That works. Thank you, man. Good to see
Yeah.
you.
Paraphrase.
Sorry, crazy day, man. No internet on my job 2 days in the week. Like no internet. So it's I've been having to explain what no internet means. Which is crazy. Crazy. Like it's
Welcome to that world, right?
yeah, it's like no internet at all. It's like I can't check email. No. I can't check any of the science research. No.
No, that's internet.
I can't. Yeah, that's the internet.
So you get down to like, tell me a word, and I'll just respond. Internet, no internet. You're like, climb a tree, no internet.
Yeah.
There's one outside
yeah.
the window.
Right. Can I edit a PDF? Sure. That's on the network? No. It's like, oh, that was tricky. That was a tricky one.
Yeah, two-parter there.
Yeah.
Man, you gotta love to see it. Love to see it. Yeah. Keeps you on your toes, though.
It
Not
does,
that you
man.
need to be on your toes any more than you already are, but yeah. So this week we're going to talk a little bit in a moment here. My required viewing pick for this week, which was a film called Eephus, and then we'll talk about some other little movies we've seen, maybe shows if anybody wants to drop something. But mainly, I'm going to talk a little bit about the new Dave Franco and Alison Brie horror film Together, which I was able to see today, and thankfully, Ron and John both saw The Naked Gun, which also comes out this week. So they're going to kind of wrap the episode up with a recap of that film. So
A detailed recap. We're gonna
detailed.
We're gonna,
I'm expecting bullet points on the
Yes.
screen, everything, guys. I expect no less from both of you. So yeah, required viewing. My pick this week was a smaller film, a little hangout movie, baseball hangout film called Eephus, which I saw a bunch of people talking about. Like, again, I mentioned last week that, this time of year, you see a lot of people online, even some of the trades kind of go through a mid-year list, which in hindsight, we probably should have done that, or maybe we could still do that in a week or so. But this was one that came up on a couple that just kind of caught my eye, mainly because of the baseball element. And I like a good hangout movie every once in a while. So I put it on our radar for required viewing, and I can't wait to hear what Ronald and John thought of Eephus. Ronald, let's start with you.
I don't know what it was. It felt like very I use the word slice of life when I
Yeah.
think about indie stuff. Like this I don't think you can get any more slice of life than this. It felt like we were following these guys around for a couple hours, like for real. Like you know how people kind of say, "Oh, you follow these people around." Like it really was. But there's something kind of cool about the dynamic that they had, this league that they were in, and the stakes, and not wanting to go across two towns to play for another league. Like, yeah, it had this cool small town feel to it that I honestly have always wanted. Like, I'll go to like Frederick, and I'm like, I wish I lived here.
Yeah, I know you've said that before.
Like I'll go there. I'm like, I love the way that this feels.
You mean like small town life, sort of?
Yeah.
Where there's still stuff. There's like, yeah, you'll be driving through a spot and there'll be a nice little Main Street area.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, look, a bookstore. a men's goods store, and then and then you're like, I could live here, like you have this little thought in your head of like, oh, we come to town twice a week, load up on fresh groceries. No, and you may romanticize it, but there is something about it, the kind of community experience. That's not to say that you don't get that outside of small towns, but it's like that's at least the way you visualize those places, is that you would, if you were there, you would be connected to the place and you'd know everybody. And yeah, Ronald, you're right. The whole premise of the stakes being that like this ball, like it's a field where they play. And there are other places they could play, their league could play, but no one really wants to drive to that place. Or it's too far out for these people, but more convenient for these people. And then also, I liked the little detail that the reason why they can't play there anymore is because the field is being, basically construction is being struck for a school. Yeah. So it's not even like evil developers coming in or anything. Do you know what I mean? It's like no one could really complain about a new middle school or whatever it's going to be. But the fact that it's taken up the field where these guys play, it's just the very mildest of stakes, which is that, it's going to be a little too much trouble to do this after tonight, and that gives you this feeling of this kind of end of summer feeling that really is very just kind of, I thought, oozed out of the movie.
Yeah. There's like a matter of convenience too. It was like, they a lot of them, at least a lot of the characters that we meet a lot of people throughout the film, of these two ball clubs. But, you definitely pick up a lot of the things of like, there's a matter of convenience that they all have a lot going on, and it's like, but they still manage to do this. Mm-hmm. So it is a matter of convenience that this ball, this ballpark or this diamond is like right there. Yeah. So the not going over two towns, it's like it's not even just like protective of your town and of your ballpark. It's like I probably couldn't make that work. Like I got dinner, I got to pick up dessert. I just got off work. Like I'm here, I'm late because I'm off work late. Like I wouldn't have even been able to consider driving two towns over to be able to do this. So there's you get enough from a lot of the characters of that stuff, or that they're just old and they don't have the desire to do this because this is their town. But yeah, I've definitely. It is genuinely like it says it on the poster, that one of the review clips, like the definitive baseball hangout movie. Like I think that's pretty accurate. Like definitive is up for argument, but like it is like a genuinely. It doesn't go anywhere except that ball diamond, and just like kind of picks a couple spots: the box, the outside the fence, the vendor out in the outfield. The kids over at the soccer diamond or the soccer field that they reference a few times, but for the most part, you're just moving around this baseball diamond, and you're spending a little more time with each pass or with each round with these guys that clearly like love it, even if they hate it. Like they love it because it's a passion, and I think it kind of like really comes off throughout the movie, even if they're like old and out of shape, or they're younger and kind of jaded about what they're even doing. But there's like all of them have like a love for baseball that I think is like I personally just like connected to, because I share in that. Like I love baseball. A lot of people find baseball boring, and maybe not the sport of choice in today's world, but I don't know. There was a lot of like relatability for me looking at this movie and being like, I've seen people like that, who join these pickup leagues and they stick with it. There's one scene specifically I wanted to call out that really got me, was when the one guy, I think his name was Bob, where he was like begging his family to stay to watch him take his last at bat, and he strikes out. And not only strikes out, but strikes out. They drop it. He has to run it out, and he still is out. Like it's humiliating. And he's like, he sits down on the bench and he's like talking to the pseudo coach of the team, like how embarrassing it was that because he's older, and he's like, that's probably the last time I'll ever be at bat. My kids just saw that, and that's what it was like, And his friend, his teammates, kind of like, well, they're young. And he's like, well, they're 10 and 12. And he's like, well, they'll find it funny. Yeah. And he's like framing all this stuff. And the last thing he says is like, well, it wasn't funny to me. And I was like, damn, that's kind of heartbreaking, because I would probably relate to that. Like I would want a good show of like my last possible time playing baseball in front of my kids to not be that. But I mean, like that was that kind of slice of life thing that Rana was talking about, which it definitely is. It's just like you get a little piece of these players in their worlds, and some more than others, but that scene specifically really kind of spoke to me that that's kind of why he was committed to it because it's something he loved to do, and like because of circumstance, this might be the last time, and because he's older, but that scene really kind of, I don't know, it was a little more emotional than a lot of the other movies.
I had noted that scene too, but you left off the sort of happy little spin after that, which is that then another guy says to that guy, yeah, but why is your family the only one that comes to the games? And you see his face. No, you see his face, and he kind of smiles a little bit.
He does light up. You're right. You're right.
But I'm just saying, I made note of all that too, that whole little journey. And it's like, it's full of, I thought of Richard Linklater. I thought of Robert Altman.
Absolutely.
These directors who like to give you the tapestry of life. There's a lot of indie films that do this.
Right.
But I don't think as skillfully as this one does. This one was like well shot. In a way that was really cool, and also this whole notion that they start off and they've got enough light to play by, and then by the end they're gathering the cars around in a ring, turn the headlights on so they have enough light to finish the game. And it's like there's a little bit of almost absurd comedy to the fact that they're continuing to play the game in the dark, and it's like certain players are just like saying, this is fucking bullshit, like while they're doing it. But also everyone is kind of that spirit we were talking about. Everyone's sort of this agreed upon little dream. Like they know that when they leave, this might be it. And there's a nice little moment where one of the guys is like, well, maybe we can get together sometime in the winter, for a beer. And the guy's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. And it occurred to me, this is a period piece, right? Like I didn't think about it while watching the movie, but it's set like, I think I saw somewhere it's set in the 90s.
90s, yeah. I thought the same thing.
But that makes that whole notion of you've got everybody's contacts. That's a totally different thing in the 90s than it would be now. Now it's like, boop, you've got a group automatically of all these people. And yeah, you can go meet up and do whatever. But back then it really would have been like, well, who's going to call us all? It reminds me of something I've thought about groups of friends I've had at different points in my life, where any casual night at this given person's apartment, these 9 people might come through and be hanging out and playing video games and listening to music and let's go get something to eat and coming back in and all that stuff. And then like now, looking back on one of those 20 or 30 years ago hangouts, it would take so much energy to get that same group of people to be together again.
Yeah.
But when we had a reason to be together, it was natural. We were coming in and out of each other's lives. You kind of feel that sort of like, and again, you feel like some of the guys doing this are, like you said, tired, older, middle-aged guys. Like the younger guys are middle-aged kind of in this group. There are a few young guys, but most of the guys are middle-aged and older. And like some of them probably don't have the energy for this or aren't that sentimental about it. But you can tell that for a few of them, it really is a very meaningful thing. And everybody's just got that weird kind of last day of vacation, almost like nervousness about what are we supposed to do? We can't stop playing this game. Even the umpires leave and they make the decision to bring up, what's his name? Franny, was that the character's name?
Franny, yeah.
Who's like sort of the bookend guy. Like he's the guy, when you finally see, oh, he's leaving at the end, and you remember, oh, he arrived at the beginning. There's this real wraparound bookend quality to that aspect of it. But in a more sensationalist movie, he would have died, or there would have been a fist fight, or somebody's marriage would have fallen apart.
Yeah.
I mean, the most dramatic thing that happens is that one guy just gets fed up and leaves. While they're playing. Just like you just see his car driving away, and it's after the setup of him saying, "My son thought I was going to be home an hour ago." And it's like, but it's funny and slice of life. And I mean, you got to get in the mood for this. You've called it a hangout movie. I do think that. Oh, by the way, I forgot I had a background image for it. Oh, come on. There we go.
It's so random.
But also, that was so real too. There's just a random kid sneaking a smoke in the woods, and that ball player's out looking for the ball. And what does he say? He calls him. He's like, I
see you.
I see you, or something. I know your parents, or I know where you live, or something like that. No, it was just it won me over. I have to admit, the first time I watched it, I got a little tired. And it like the pace of it really wasn't working for me, and I felt kind of dreary about like the last half of it. But I was really glad that today I had a little more time and I wasn't so distracted.
Yeah.
And over lunch, I watched like the last 30, 40 minutes again. And I was really glad that I did, because I was so much more able to do what I had done during the first 30, 40 minutes, which was just pay attention to all the little interactions and catch all the little, there is storytelling of how these characters fit together going on. You kind of said it. There's really not much to it outside of just what comes up in the game. And I think it shows a lot of discipline to write a script like this that doesn't spill over into melodrama and doesn't spill over into some insane stakes, or someone was always going to get a homer and they finally got a homer. Whatever weird things just don't happen. And I think there's something about that. The kind of anti-drama of that is almost experimental. I mean, by my standards. And I've always felt that way. Like I said, when I see a good Richard Linklater movie, even Dazed and Confused has a lot more conflict than this does. For sure. Which surprisingly, for a movie about a game, there's not that much rivalry really between the teams. But one thing I didn't really catch was that the Adler's Paint team. Yeah. The pitcher is the guy from Uncut Gems.
Oh wow, the guy on like the street.
Yeah,
like this, like hawking the stuff. Yeah,
I think so. But he's he's like the older guy. He's like the pitcher who leaves in the middle. I guess it's his brother that comes and picks him up. which that's the most insane thing that happens in the movie. The most extreme thing that happens.
That guy. Oh yeah, that is the guy. Yeah. I thought he sounded familiar too.
No, I knew he was familiar to me too. Yeah, it's like, Phil. I know him, but he's got a very non-actory kind of sense to him. Like he doesn't seem like an actor; he seems like a person, And I think a lot of the guys in this, there were only a couple of them that I thought put a little too much spin on their lines, and it felt a little bit stylized what they were doing. Most of the people felt really natural and very real. Even like the fireworks thing, which you feel like you're getting a setup for some kind of crazy thing happening with the fireworks. The fact that happens like off screen.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's well considered. I know it was a movie that led into a big discussion on the show, but remember that movie, The Vast of Night, that Ronald, you were not down with?
Yeah.
But that one was another one that I felt similarly about, just in terms of like the way that it was shot was really controlled and moody, and for a small movie that like had a story that it wasn't trying to show you too much of it. That was also kind of a small town slice of life thing. But I don't know. I think this movie really won me over by the time I had finished watching the second half a second time. I was prepared to say I liked it a lot, but it was it needed a little something for me. But I think it was really just that, like I said, the first time through, I was kind of fighting to stay awake, and it made the kind of sleepy pace of it feel like assaultive almost, because it's so sleepy. I mean, it's, when I say discipline, do you know what I mean? It really does not.
For sure.
The pace is really exacting. I will say, if there's one thing that did kind of bump me, I did not like the score, the way that it was just these drum hits. That was kind of random. It kind of aggravated me. Later in the movie, there's a little bit more melodic score, but it's still very like just chiming notes. It's very minimalist, which it should be. But I did not care too much for the kind of random drum hits earlier in the movie. And I really wondered, like, what sound would I have preferred, and would I have preferred no score at all? Because it felt almost like the kind of movie that could get away with no score at all. But I don't care that much about baseball. And so maybe I'm one of those people who would say baseball could be very boring. And so something about the sleepy pace of the movie felt very real to, like, a local ball game that you would go to. But you can't help but find it kind of heartwarming when you see people that just care about something like this. It's like that sort of. So who was your standout character, Ronald, if anyone?
Nobody. No one in that movie. Nobody in that movie.
Mine's the old pitcher that just comes in and throws the Eephus and then disappears for the rest of the movie.
That's the guy that's Bill the Spaceman Lee. He's like a real eccentric. He's like a real guy. His character's name was Lee. I didn't know that.
I love in the movie. It's just like, where'd he go? It's like he's like, I got 3 outs for you, Coach. I got 3 outs for you, and then he just pieces out.
No, I looked in the credits and I was like, oh my God, that's Bill the Spaceman Lee, who I've heard stories about. He was, pretty, like, there's a lot of kind of legends about him, so to speak. But but I think his character's name is just Lee.
Lee, yeah, that's right. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. That was like he's got some story behind him.
The one character who kind of stood out to me was Troy, the pitcher who couldn't stop falling down and seemed drunk or like he was about to have a heart attack for basically the whole movie.
Yeah, like what's he doing with his arms?
Did you say he was waddling like a penguin?
Oh, that's a different guy. That's a different guy that they said was waddling like a penguin.
Oh, okay, man. Yeah, this movie.
But yeah, I don't know. Eephus. I enjoyed it. It definitely is a slower kind of, literally just kind of seeing what's happening over the course of, this evening game, late afternoon, early evening game. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
So explain to us what an Eephus is, by the way, or what the title comes from. You mentioned it, but
yeah, it was the pitch he was talking about. It's basically like it's like it falls into like like a junk pitch. Like somebody might compare it to like a knuckleball, but it basically is a ball that is thrown super slow, high arc, comes across. Like you're just thrown off by it because like it's almost looks more like a softball pitch, like underhand softball, where you're throwing these pitches and these guys in this movie like maybe in the 50s to 60-mile-an-hour range, and then this pitch comes in it's got an outside spin. It's going over the top. It kind of drops down really fast, but it's just like an unsettling pitch. There's no linear nature to the throw, outside, inside. It's up and down and then out. Like it's just
when he was describing it, it was so funny. He's like up, overhand, under.
Yes,
I was like,
yeah.
what?
It's thrown with like an overhand motion that is like way higher and way more arched than you would ever hit a baseball.
I enjoyed that scene actually when he's describing the type of pitches that he does. It's like,
right, because and that's why they're like, you never, and they're like, you never throw 3 in a row because by then they've adjusted to it.
Right.
So the approach would be like throw it and then a fastball or then a curveball. Like you completely just disrupt the batter's timing and rhythm, and then you hopefully just like throw them off for the whole at bat. But the fact that the young guy's talking about it and then the old guy comes in and throws it, and it's just like immediately they're just like, what the fuck was that? It's like, okay, this is fun because I've heard the term before, and that's kind of what caught my ear about the movie, and it kind of I guess speaks to the movie itself. But
a slow meandering pitch,
yes, throw you off guard, but you still have a chance at hitting it. But
I did like the way he just sort of split the scene after that. That he was just like, all right.
I love that. I love that part. So, John, are you next? I lose track of these. Who's next?
I am next.
You got it.
And I have had so many choices and so many options. And there's one movie that I was thinking about picking, and then I looked and I saw that reviews for this movie were worse than I remembered. Because I remember liking this movie. And I remember, in fact, a lot of people that I talked to liking this movie, but I do remember there were some people that did not, and it sort of kind of got me thinking maybe that means it is ripe for a rewatch. So I'm also, in the interest of the short run times, this was a movie with a nice, even though it felt longer than its length, but it was everything we just said about the pace of this. It was easier to take at a 96-minute runtime. So I thought, well, can I find something that has something around a 96-minute runtime? And it just so happens that this film hits that mark. I feel like we've talked about it on the show before, but it predates the show. And it's a show, it's a film that has I believe it was a direct-to-video sequel or prequel. So it's kind of like I might watch both just because I'm curious about how bad the.
Is this an in-betweequel?
I don't know what it is. I don't. It might be an in-betweequel. I have no idea. But I know that
I do.
But I know that I liked an in-betweequel.
It's hard to say. It's not natural.
I feel like that's everything Star Wars does now. You know how whenever they put out a new Star Wars thing, it's like this takes place in the 5 minutes between this movie and this movie.
Yes.
But I think it's time for me to rewatch 2007's Vacancy, starring Kate Beckinsale and Luke Wilson.
Oh, I'm a fan.
Is that the hotel movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that movie.
See, but
Yes.
it's got like a 50 something on Rotten
Why?
Tomatoes. Yeah, I
You know
thought that was
what?
crazy.
You know what? It's because I fucking blame you, M. Night Shyamalan.
I thought you were about to say you blame me.
No,
The
I
sentence
blame
ended
you.
on "I blame you."
Yeah, I blame you, M. Night Shyamalan, because it felt like there was a time when anything that had
Hmm.
a different kind of ending, people like, you know what? Fuck you, M. Night. It's like, what? People made. I mean, did you ever watch
Are you
Twilight
confusing
Zone?
this with Identity? Because Identity
No, Identity
is more of an M Night,
amazing. That's got the
but
twist. Vacancy is. I think maybe you're mixing it up.
Vacancy's pretty straightforward. But
Is
I
that
would,
the hotel?
yeah.
There is a hotel, but both are.
Oh no,
It's
I
not.
think.
The Vacancy is more of the. They book a night at the hotel. The car breaks down, and they basically get stalked by these mass killers. Where Identity is like all these strangers end up at this
I think I
hotel.
am.
Yeah,
I think I'm confusing this.
yeah. Identity is incredible. I
I think
love
I'm.
Identity.
I don't think I've seen Vacancy.
Okay, even
Yes,
better.
yeah, I haven't seen it. I remember the commercials,
I like
but
it. I do like
yeah,
it.
okay.
I just remember it being like an efficient, sturdy, like kind of what you said, Steve. A
It is.
simple, very much like what it would seem to be. But like what I remember especially about it was that the people in it behaved somewhat like regular people. Like they seem to realize that they're in a fucked up situation quickly, and they react it like in a sensible
Accordingly.
way.
Yes,
At least that's my recollection. I wonder if
You're right.
I wonder how
That
much
is.
it would seem that way now, because we've had such a wave of horror since then. You know what I mean? And some of
Yeah.
it very naturalistic. I wonder if this one will feel very 2007, because I did notice that Nimrod Antal is the director, and he's got that kind of music video sort of style. I don't remember this movie necessarily having that feel to it, but maybe it does. So
A little bit.
yeah. So anyway,
Also, Ethan Embry's in it, my boy. So I remember him. He's in it. I love Ethan Embry.
so Identity is one of those movies that I have mixed feelings about, because I'm not big on,
God damn it, Dutch!
you know.
Oh, you
Spoiler
just
alert.
gave away the whole
Spoiler
goddamn
alert!
movie,
Shit, you
John.
can cut that shit, John.
Yeah, I'm beeping the shit out of
You just
that.
went and did it. Damn.
That was a weird one. I like that. I like that twist. I like the commitment to it.
But that's not our pick. Our pick,
No.
your pick is Vacancy.
Vacancy. And I think I called that movie Vacancy because it plays with that sign in the movie. Yeah,
there's a
it's
sign,
a good.
So what's that? That's just standard rental online. I see Prime Video, $3.59. Yeah, I mean,
I think it's out there.
yeah, I don't know that it's on a streamer, but
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna have to fucking go out your way to watch a movie these days. Get off your high horse, you pieces of shit, and go just watch the movie. It's like, yeah, is it on, I can't, is it on Netflix?
yeah, that's your thing, Ronald. It's like, is it on Netflix? I remember you always say that. Can I watch it on Netflix?
Yeah,
That's Ronald right there. That's like, don't say that around Ronald ever.
because
Listen, listener or watcher.
it means that if I say no, you're not gonna watch
Yeah,
it.
you're
It's-
out, right? I know,
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
so.
I got you. Now I'm excited to watch that. That'll be fun. Um. Okay, so did you guys watch anything else before we get into the bigger movies that you want to mention?
I did not watch anything else. I guess once you finish mentioning them, because you've watched a ton of things, we got to get some quick writs from Steve Ritter.
Let's go, baby.
But I have a sort of a little quick let's get physical that I can do after you've done your quick writs.
Yeah, I just want to say it because I haven't really been. This has not been my game recently. Like I saw a lot of movies over the last 7-ish days.
Lay it on us.
man.
Lay them
So
on us.
here it comes. So I'm just going to say what it was and really quickly what I thought of it.
All right.
How to Train Your Dragon live action. Really enjoyed it. I felt like everything John said, and when he did the first review because he saw it first, was pretty spot on for me. I'm a softie for Toothless. Toothless is amazing. The character's great. I thought the cast was very good. Some of the stuff didn't work as well for me, but I still really enjoyed the movie, and all the
I
emotional
loved it.
beats still hit me the same. And
Yeah.
and the little as a massive fan of the score, the little tweaks to it I think were interesting and kind of added something new to it. But yeah, that's just a big reminder. Like Toothless is up there in terms of characters for me, like creature characters. If we ever did that again, yeah, there. If I didn't already say that one, but and the score is just like a standout. and it's one of my all-time favorite scores. But so that I saw Fantastic Four, really liked it. Slash very good. A fan. I kind of wish I would have had more time to see their powers together.
Yeah.
Like you got that like 1.5 scenes worth of that. Maybe a little more
another
time
set
with
piece
Thing.
would have been good.
Yes.
Like
A big set piece showing them coming together. The complementary, supplementary nature of kind of how they figured out to use them together would have been really, really the next notch for me. But still, great introduction to new characters to a new world. Some awesome scenes and really, really good looking visual effects, minus some weird baby CGI.
yeah, right.
Superman, loved it actually.
Yeah,
And the more it sits with me, the higher I am on it.
that's what'll happen with that movie. Honestly,
yeah, the casting's great. I don't know. I really love the time spent with Clark and Superman and Lois and even Lex, like, and all the other characters. Like I asked you guys, balancing all the characters when you saw it, like how did that go? And I thought that was done really well. And the James Gunn of it all was one of the biggest entry points for me. I mean, I love Superman, but like that was the selling point more than even the trailer for me. So to finally see it and like just the positive nature, you both talked about this, so I don't want to like hit on it too much more, but just the hope and the positivity and all that stuff that he realizes like who he is and that's who he chose to be, and all that stuff was just so well done, and it really connects. I genuinely felt connected watching the movie. Like the kiss scene at the end, the floating thing, like that's an epic fucking scene.
Yeah.
Like I felt moved by that scene. Like the scene with him and his dad on the bench out front of the house, I felt moved by that scene.
yes,
Yeah.
Even the breakdown of Lex in that office in the skyscraper thing at the end where they have their speech together,
Yeah.
genuinely moving. Like it from both sides of the spectrum of thought. Like I just felt like it all worked so well. And not perfect, but I mean, like, there still is some of that too much at times going on, but not a detriment though at all to the movie overall. And I came away just really loving that movie and super high on the idea of what they're gonna do with the DCU, and I'm excited for it. I gotta say, but in both camps, I gotta say, like we talk about all the movies, but I kind of came out on the same side as you two. Definitely a little higher on Superman. Just something felt special about it. I don't know. I just really, really liked the cast and the messaging.
One line in that movie I really liked. So simple. Perry White at the kissing. How long those two been dating?
Yeah. Well, I think 3 months. Yeah.
Well, did you notice them dating for 3 months? Because Clark said that earlier. We've been dating for 3 months.
Yeah.
But that fits in with the
scroll,
300 years, the 30 years, the 3 years, the 3 minutes. So it's like, I love that. It's just like, and they asked him why that. And he said, it was a nice round number. Like it was a nice way to tie it all together. But I like that was like the take. And honestly, it's interesting the way Fantastic Four, it's 4 years. They've been doing their thing for 4 years. That both movies took pretty much the same approach to that, honestly, of saying, we're going to throw you into the world. We're going to give you a little bit of a ramp up and you're going to be here. And James Gunn had even more storytelling swagger, I guess, because you don't even have like a recap section, but you do have like, you see the Fortress of Solitude and you see the footage of Jor-El and Laura speaking to him. So it's like he gets the origin stuff in there enough to let you know this is the same origin that you're familiar with. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like the confidence of saying, we all know what Superman's deal is. Let's just jump into this story. I thought it was really just like, I saw it a second time and I just loved it even more. And I haven't stopped thinking about those strengths that the movie has.
And when you really think about the scenes, like the scenes really stand out to me.
Yes.
Like I think about hard scenes, and I don't know that stands out as much to me anymore. Like I felt that way about Thunderbolts a little bit, and a couple scenes maybe in Fantastic Four, but there's a handful of them in Superman. Even you mentioning the video, like him at the fortress at the end with the new videos with his parents, like that fucking broke me, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was so good. Like
it was so good
with that awesome Iggy Pop song playing on the soundtrack.
Yes, the Iggy Pop song playing, and just like him smiling ear to ear. Like I was like, damn it, this is good.
Yeah.
Man,
that messed me up too, man. Like I wasn't prepared for that. There's a lot of like symmetry in that movie too. Like they'll show like one version of a scene like that. that other version of the scene that existed earlier when he got beat up and they're like, show him his parents, and they showed
Yeah.
it again. I'm like, they do that a couple times, and I really enjoyed that
Absolutely.
a
Yeah.
lot.
It's
Yeah.
and again, it's just kind of ascendant more that it's sat with me, and I would love this. And I'm going to take Sydney to go see it. She wants to see it, so I
Mm.
want to go check it out again. But yeah, I really did love Superman. The last one I want to mention real quick, just because it maybe needs some love. There's a movie that came out like about a month ago that had a theatrical run. It's the new movie from Sean Byrne, who did Devil's Candy, and a movie I loved from 2009 called The Loved Ones. It's his new movie called Dangerous Animals. This was a movie that again did have a theatrical run. Got really good reviews actually, but it's basically like a mashup of like a serial killer movie mashed up with like a shark attack movie.
Oh,
Jai
Yeah.
Courtney plays the kind of serial killer bad guy in this film, but basically a killer who takes his
Yeah. It's pretty
victims out
elaborate.
on a boat, and like he's got this obsession with sharks because he was attacked as a kid and survived, and he films it. It's just fucked up, but it was like definitely the most mainstream commercial of Sean's films. But Aaron and I watched together. We were both kind of glued to it the whole time. It was only like an hour and a half long, but just a gorgeous, like on the water, real shark footage. Some of it's obviously CG, and but there's a lot of practical shots. And I listened to him on the Boo Crew podcast talking about the production, and I just really got me more excited to see it before I actually finally got to watch it at home. But I'm obsessed with sharks, and just even though it's amongst the serial killer movie, it's a cool mashup, and definitely recommend it. It's a good watch, and it's got a big final girl vibe. The lead character, her name is Zephyr. Um, Hassie Harrison. I don't watch this show, but I mean, I think she's most popular for Yellowstone, who she's, I guess, recurring one of the lead characters on. But uh, definitely recommend checking this out. It's on video on demand at home, and it's cool to see Jai Courtney doing something again because it felt like a moment he had a moment where he was going to be one of those guys, and he's
Yeah.
kind of fallen to the wayside quite a bit. But I've seen him in a lot of things that I liked him in, even if the movie wasn't good. So he was very good in this, very deranged and very serial killer and yeah, Dangerous Animals. Check it out if that sounds interesting at all to you.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for this a while back, and it seemed so over the top and crazy. And I was like, man, that's going to go one of two ways. That's going to be fun, or that's just going to be, well, it's going to be fun garbage, or it's going to be fun and actually kind of good, is what I thought when I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
Because it's I mean, a guy who, like, a serial killer who feeds people to sharks is I mean, which is what at least that's the impression I get from the trailer.
That's it. Yeah,
like,
that's it.
That's pretty ridiculous, but it's also like, like you
Yeah.
got to give people credit for coming up with a concept like that.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun and good. So yeah, I mean, both boxes for me.
Fun and good. Well, didn't you see
Fun
one
and
other
good.
new film, brand new, that just came out?
I did. Yeah. Sorry. So today I was actually able to go check out the
A fun
new
date film.
Yeah, very much. Together, new film with Dave Franco, Alison Brie. This is I think this was a big like Sundance. There was a lot of love around it at Sundance. I've been waiting for a while to check it out. Finally came out. Michael Shanks wrote it and directed it. Basically about a couple moves out to the country to follow an opportunity that the girlfriend has. Alison Brie's character. They clearly have issues in their relationship. There's some trauma that the boyfriend Dave Franco's character is still dealing with that occurred in his family. But it kind of all just kind of builds up, and they kind of find themselves in a situation where there's some, supernatural or, very uncomfortably to watch element happening involving their bodies
Mm.
uh, combining together. Like I don't know. I don't want to give too much away. It's in the trailers, but
Yeah, you could see it on the trailer. The body horror aspect of it.
the poster, the trailers all show it. But there's some really awesome sequences in it that I don't want to say anything about. But I really liked it a lot. I mean, again, I just saw it like a couple of hours ago. But I guess the one thing I didn't expect as much from it, it's pretty funny too, and I think that offsets it a little bit and makes you a little disarmed at times where you kind of settle into a moment that's not so tense or so like you're on your edge of your seat a little bit, wondering what's going to happen next between these two characters. There's like a genuine comedic beat between them, that it is their character, like it is their relationship, and they're a real life couple. We talked about them on a prior episode. Like I'm a big fan of them as people and as a couple, but it definitely plays into the movie as a strength for sure. Like their chemistry is insane together in this film. And there's some awesome, like very non-expected jump scares that aren't cheap at all, that are just really well earned and very effective. And yeah, where the movie goes in the third act is like some people may see it coming. We kind of pieced it together, but handled very well. And yeah, man, the body horror element doesn't go too crazy, but there are some visuals that are, man, that's that's messed up, man. Like it is not good. But I was definitely a big fan. I think they both give excellent performances in the movie. And some of the effects, like some of the practical effects, and obviously some of it's digital, but I mean, the practical stuff is like unsettling. Like it's just like, ugh, gross.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, together
compare
was
it
really
to the
good.
to the unsettling practical effects level of The Substance.
It's just not even to that same degree. It's not that severe or that big. There's a couple you do get a couple moments that are not you don't stay on too long, where you do see some body horror that's pretty close to that level.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple quick shots, but between these two characters specifically, it's well paced, and it's kind of like not over the top too quickly. And when it does go there, it's not too long. Like I guess it's like it doesn't overstay its welcome. I think it's more about the story. It makes you uncomfortable for a beat here and there, but then you actually are like, what's going to happen to this character, like him or her, because they've both got this weird thing going on, and you're kind of trying to piece together where each of them are in whatever is happening between them, because it's very clear that when it starts to happen, it's happening more to one than the other. And you're like, what is it that's making it happen to that person before the other? And yeah, the way it kind of steps to that, I thought was really good. And yeah, just a cool movie to watch in the theater too, man. Because even coming out today, a late matinee, there was a pretty good audience in the theater. And where those jokes hit that I mentioned, laugh out loud, great audience interaction, and where those jump scares or the uncomfortable moments, you love to hear an audience like react to that. And this movie's got a nice balance of both of those things. So yeah, definitely recommend. Check it out in theaters if you can. Support a horror movie, especially those involved in this. I don't know. They're clearly fans of horror movies too, watching their press tours and stuff like that, especially Dave. It's like cool to see him involved with horror films. And he did The Beach a couple years ago. No, Beach House or
Yeah,
Rental.
The Rental.
The Rental.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a great movie, yeah.
Very good. Like we all love that. So it's cool to see him playing around. They're producers on this movie too. So yeah, it was awesome. I would definitely recommend checking it out. I think you both would definitely dig it.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, I intend to. I mean, it looks. There seemed to be a wave of movies coming out. There's a couple of comedies that I saw trailers for. I can't even remember what movie it was. It must have been an indie movie, because these were kind of indie trailers. But there seem to be a lot of movies right now coming out that like take relationships, marriage, whatever, like what would be considered like contentment,
Right.
and use that as the jumping off point for some kind of metaphorical sort of horror, or
Totally.
just like, and again, it always makes me think it's funny when a couple does a movie like that, because that means that like they must have either a better relationship than the one depicted in the film, or
Right.
or maybe the film, I don't know, has some sort of little trapdoor built in where it's not a cynical assessment of togetherness itself. I don't know how that works in the movie, but I know different movies have different ways of doing that, where it's like that you're leaving the theater not too unsettled about just normal human relationships, but oftentimes it's great that they can find something new to a new wedge point, like to make like horror out of. And I do think that like, being together can be the source of a lot of interesting things if you decide to look into like all the things that could be dysfunctional about a relationship. Again, I don't know that much about the state of their relationship from the trailer, but it definitely seems like maybe there's like the idea of like, oh, this person's a little clingy or more needy than the other, and like how that plays out in the sense of the horror is this other escalation that is which is like kind of makes you squirmy, because every relationship has some little balance, or maybe there's some moment that you relate to, if not the whole scenario. So it's always kind of interesting. Well, I said I would do a little let's get physical, so I'll quickly just run through. Speaking of Fantastic Four, when the movie was over, I realized that like I talk a lot about the influence of Jack Kirby on the characters and how important his art was to the creation of a lot of Marvel stuff. And this movie actually has a Jack Kirby quote at the end. And there's a moment in the middle where you see two guys that are clearly working on comic books that look out their window and see, the fighting happening outside. And that's meant to be, I believe, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, like as their 1960s selves looking out the window, seeing the Fantastic Four. So it's like, it got me to thinking about how I talk about that stuff a lot, but I don't really have like any copies or reprints of the classic Jack Kirby books. So I looked for something Fantastic Four oriented, and I found this book that it's a really nice book. It's Penguin Classics. They do a paperback and a hardback version of this book. It's really nice. Look at that. Ooh.
Wow. Beautiful.
But it's basically got the first 5 issues of the Fantastic Four in it, and then like issues 9 and 10, and then issues like 48 through 51 or something. But anyway, the point is that you get like the first story with Doctor Doom, you get the first story with Namor the Submariner, and you get the first story with Galactus. So you get like a lot of the classic stuff. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby did the book for about 102 issues, I think, for about 10 years. So this is nothing close to the full run. I don't even know if there's any book that does collect their full run. But I mean, these are some of the most influential comic books ever, particularly the first issue of Fantastic Four. I mean, I won't bore you with it now, but just the ways in which it was kind of a fresh start. There had been superhero comics before when it came out in 1961. I think I've got that right. But between 1961 and 1963, all those key players got introduced, all these key elements that the Marvel Universe is still kind of chewing over today. And that idea of, oh, they're a family, they have personal relationships. That was sort of the Marvel innovation. DC had their superheroes, but they were, as now, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman are kind of like these godlike figures compared to the Marvel superheroes with all of their kind of regular human problems. So that's been a lot of fun. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm deep into that. And it's, yes, Sue Storm is a very underwritten misogynist character in 1961, but the seeds of what make her really interesting now are there, and the fact that she's such a cool character in the movie and probably the lead of the movie is a sort of a huge course correction over the way that she was introduced. And lastly, here, there's a book out right now. I've mentioned Stephen Graham Jones on this show a lot, and he's got a new book out. He's got like, seems like every time I turn around, he's got a new book out. But right now, this is a paperback book, and it's kind of cool because there's a book called Killer on the Road, and then if you turn it over, it's a book called The Babysitter Lives. So it's like about halfway through. It's 2 short novels together in one volume, and you just turn it over and read the other half when you're done with. I don't know if I'm supposed to read them in a particular order or if they connect at all, but I like those titles. So I think it's shelved as Killer on the Road, but it might be shelved as The Babysitter Lives. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Either way. Anyway, I just want to let people know this was in Books A Million. So, this is out there. This is like I've said this before, but a lot of these big bookstores like Books A Million and Barnes and Noble, their horror sections have really improved in recent years because there's been kind of a boom in not just in movies, but in terms of horror literature. So I would say if you've been at all curious to try him out, this might be a good way to do it, because these are 2 like roughly 200-page novels, so they're not too demanding.
That's awesome.
And they're probably really pulpy and fun. I don't know anything about them. The fact that the back is a cover means there's no blurb to read. I was like, I don't know anything about these stories because there's no paragraph on the back. So that was me getting physical. John got physical. Physical.
Cool. So the feature or the big one today that the majority of the pod saw. You guys can talk to us a little bit about the new Naked Gun reboot, remake,
Reboot. I would. Well,
reboot.
what do we call it when it's in universe? Because
Yeah, it's in the universe.
he's Frank Drebin Jr. So technically, it's just a sequel.
Yeah, it is a sequel.
or a requel.
Yeah.
A requel. We talked about this with
Scream.
with back when I think Force Awakens came out is when we first started talking about requels, because it was like at that point we were thinking of it as like it's a reboot of the franchise or a restart of the franchise. But now I think we know that that's called a legacy sequel. When they do that style, this is kind of a legacy sequel, wouldn't you say, Ronald? Like in that sense, it's like it doesn't like there's no storyline to pick up, but it does put itself in the universe of the Naked Gun. And if there were anything worth picking up, I guess it would. The only thing it picks up, there's one moment where we cut to a cameo that's not even a cameo; it's just a quick shot of somebody from those movies. But that's the only other indication, of that universe in this world. But the bigger question is like, how does this? Well, actually, there's two big questions about this. One is we'll get to in a second, which is how is the spoof film, this type of film, faring in 2025? But the other thing is the big mystery of this film is how did Ronald and I go to the same screening and not see each other?
I'm asking myself out loud when Ronald's like, John, you were there? I was like, do you guys, I mean, there's only a couple hundred at most people in this theater.
Yeah.
Well, Ronald and I, I had texted Ronald saying, is that tonight? And he was like, oh, that's tonight. Oh, no. And then he texted both of us saying, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. And then there was no further communication.
That was the first internet outage.
Well, but it's funny that normally I would have touched base with you to say, hey, are you going to be coming or not? Right. But the fact that you didn't say, oh, I'm coming after all, or anything. And then when I came in to look for my seat, I didn't see you or you didn't see me. So I sat next to two strangers, and the guy next to me, so this is a movie that gives you lots of chances to do this, and I'm not joking. I mean, it might sound like, oh, John, surely you jest, but I would say that at least once a minute, at least, this guy laughed, and he did this. So stupid. So stupid. This is so stupid. And I wanted to say to him, it's the Naked Gun. Yeah, man, we know. Yeah. we know it's stupid. But also, he was saying it in an appreciative way, like the way I would say something is so stupid. I mean that as a high mark when I'm laughing at a movie, if I say it's so stupid. But this guy, there was something to make him say that about every minute, maybe every 30 seconds. Honestly, it's pretty crazy. But I agreed with him. It was very stupid. But yeah, I wished not to be sitting next to someone who was doing that, because it literally kept taking me out of the movie. But I laughed a lot at this movie, and I would say I'm surprised I didn't hear your laughter elsewhere in the theater, because you said you thought you got some laughs out of it too, Ronald. I feel like we should have heard each other laughing.
Yeah, it's strange. I was on the first row of the media row. It's crazy that we didn't see each other. But to be fair, though, I was eating, I got a full-on meal from the movies, which wasn't, so I was pretty distracted.
You had your face down.
Yeah. I got some wings and what the young people call a glizzy. I hate that term for a hot dog. But yeah, I had a whole meal. This movie was, sitcom. I only really expect that level of jokes in a sitcom. It's tight every couple seconds. You're expected to hear a joke or see something, or visual gag or something,
or like a Simpsons episode or something really fast moving like that.
It's nonstop. But yeah, I laughed a lot, man. And there were only a couple lulls that I just didn't think were funny, and there was very few that I thought were absolutely not funny. Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson have insane chemistry. And I thought that when I first saw them, I was like, this isn't going to work. Liam Neeson is not funny to me. But then I remember he was funny in Atlanta. I feel like when that appearance did something for me. I think he kind of apologized for what he said, but then also he kind of like did this thing where he's like joking in it too. Because I remember seeing him on Life's Too Short, and he's like, "I want to be a comedic actor. I could be funny." And I was like, "No, no, this isn't funny. This thing that he's trying to do right now is not funny. Even in a structure of a funny show, him implying that he has range in that way, I didn't really care for. But this worked for me on a lot of levels. Like he really was funny. Pamela Anderson was funny. Paul Walter Hauser was funny. CC Pounder was very funny. I was expecting her to say the line from It's Always Sunny. The DEA, whatever the line was, whatever the line is from It's Always Sunny, that they made fun of. But it's everybody's committing, and that's what's so funny, man. Like there's a lot of cool celebrity appearances that I don't want to give away. Some ones that maybe people don't know because they don't watch wrestling, but they had some cool wrestling ones too. Besides the obvious, the very obvious one, there's a very good one of a guy that I did not know acted at all. But yeah, it's some funny stuff going on in this movie, man. The plot very easy to understand, very relatable. We're dealing with it right now. It's like it's very easy to understand, and the jokes are very perverted and hilarious.
It's God damn it, Dutch. What
Yeah.
other errands have you got us running for the DEA?
I thought you were going to say it.
There were two jokes I made a note of in this movie to give a reference for it, as far as like things that made me laugh within a short span of each other and the difference between them. There's a moment, Steve, where Paul Walter Hauser, is that his name? I always wanted to say something different. Paul Walter Hauser who is very funny in this, very good, very straight, like doesn't have a lot to do, but he's got one particularly funny running gag in the ending scene, like the thing that he's doing in the climax, Ronald, I thought was very funny. But there's a moment where Frank Drabin Jr. says to him, "You can't fight City Hall," and he says, "I know, it's a building." So that's funny. And then within a few minutes of that, Liam Neeson, when he meets Pamela Anderson, he goes to like the detective narration in his head, talking about she's the kind of girl, and he like basically says she was built the way I like them: 2 shoulders, 2 knees, feet attached to the legs. But he also then says, and a bottom that would make any toilet beg for the brown.
Oh my God.
And it's Liam Neeson delivering that in a, let's not say, Ronald, that he plays it straight. He plays this film like a wild animal. He does, man. He is so throwing himself into it. Like there's something he's doing that is like, he recognizes that there's a kind of like nervy energy to it. Do you know what I mean, Ronald? He's not playing it cool. He's really doing something here. And I'm glad you mentioned the Atlanta appearance, because I was thinking about myself. It's like, I was thinking to myself, why am I watching this movie? I was thinking to myself, isn't Liam Neeson, isn't he a racist piece of shit? Like, don't we? But then I remembered that he kind of, not so much did a redemption thing about it, but like he kind of showed that, I mean, again, let's say that what he said was horrible, but also he was trying to say something in a context that I think he thought was confessional and people would find refreshingly honest of him. I don't think he was talking about a current way of feeling about the world, but I think the way people talk about that thing he said, which was admittedly terrible, was as though he was saying something that he stood by. But I think he was, you know what I mean? Even when he recounted that the first time, he was saying that like he was ashamed of it. I think where people got mad at him, justifiably so, was because he said it sort of unprovoked. It's one of those, why are you telling on yourself things? But I'd forgotten we had that Atlanta moment to be like, okay, he's self-aware about the fact that he did real damage to his image with that completely unnecessary statement. But I was able to enjoy, he is the butt of almost every joke in this movie. So it was like, but there's a couple of moments, man, where this movie got me giggling so much. And honestly, Ronald, you talk about there being lulls. I remember the first lull for me was just a couple of jokes in a row that didn't make me laugh. But that was after like 15 minutes or something of me laughing at pretty much everything. And Steve, the kind of movie where you're just watching it going, huh. Or if you were the guy next to me, that's so stupid. That's so stupid. But like then it got to a few in a row that didn't work for me, and I was like, oh, did this movie just run out of steam? And then like the next scene, I was laughing again. And so the next time there was a lull or a few jokes in a row that didn't work for me, I was like, I'm not worried. This movie, it's like the Lonely Island imprint is on this. It's got that that Akiva Schaffer, like, you know, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
And then Jorma Taccone, I think, came up as a consultant on it. It's got that savvy sense of like pop cultural satire. It is in the style of the old movies, but it feels a little modern. Like the one thing I would say is there weren't as many visual gags. Like there weren't as many like for instance, there's a moment where they're in a jazz club. And we spend some time looking at the jazz band on stage. And I was thinking, oh, if this was one of the early Naked Gun movies, one of those guys would be playing a cat or something. You know, there'd be some kind of weird visual gag. But then later in the scene, there's something that happens that makes you realize, oh, I see why that band was played straight. It's because what happens later in the scene is only funny if the band was playing it completely straight. And what happens later in the scene was hilarious to me. But anyway, so I think there's just a lot of things where you trust the comedy instincts of the people behind this movie, and they train you to. The first few moments, it's similar to Superman in that like the scene that you've seen in the trailers is over. It's like the first moment is the scene you're most familiar with, and the same with this. Like the opening scene is the scene in the bank that you've seen in all the trailers. And so you really don't know what the story is, what the gags are going to be, who even the main characters that are going to emerge. So it's a pretty well put together satire of a certain kind of film. It's not like the most modern in its satire, but I do think it feels updated. Don't you, Ronald, in terms of what it's poking fun at? It's got a whole new generation of cop cliches to poke fun at. Like, for instance, cops always drinking coffee. This movie has so much fun with the coffee. But it's insane. And Liam Neeson, like, I kind of hope they do another one. Like that's what I realized. Like the morning after I saw this, I was like, I kind of hope every couple of years we get one of these, and I hope it's the same team, and you know they make sure they keep it as sharp as this. But it really is just rare to laugh like this. And I think I told you guys in text, I think the last movie that made me laugh this way, this much, was Weird. The Weird Al movie with Daniel Radcliffe. And I don't remember, maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's something in between that made me laugh as much in this way, but I don't know that there's that many comedies that play this that have this much fun being stupid, but you know, effort. They have to have the right amount of effort put into them. And I think for a spoof of a genre, you've got to have enough effort and budget in it so that it looks like you're trying to do the thing. But you can't pull it off. You can't just make a straight, slick cop movie with jokes in it. It has to be a little bit like the joke version of the thing. And I feel like this movie found, I don't know how much this movie cost, but it seems like it found that little middle ground of like, okay, this is like spoof production values where it gets where it needs to be, but it doesn't feel like they spent too much money making this feel slick or anything. It definitely feels, it's got comedy rhythms rather than like, you know, it's not whatever the phrase I'm looking for. It's not like a full-on satire of everything about cop movie style. It's still like a lot of like two shots of people that are just saying silly lines back and forth. But it worked. It did feel modern to me.
The thing with this one seems to be like escalation. So like, I recently watched a couple of the Naked Guns, and they seem to be like the gag is the gag. This seems to be like we take a gag and we beat it over the head until it gets a little crazy. So like Beg for the Brown was funny, and then he goes on to narrate, and then his narration is beside another person's narration. And then that narration is beside the whole team's narration.
Yeah, you see that every cop in the station is watching Pamela Anderson, and they all have an inner monologue going at the same time.
She's very sexy. Oh. He's like, fellas, if you could just shut the hell up. And then they're quiet, and then he's like, back to my story. And then his narration becomes the dominant one. It's just shit like that just works.
Paul Walter Hauser's character, when he was saying that stuff, says, I think he said she had the kind of boobs he wanted to put a hula hoop around and spin around or something like that.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, man. Like, so funny.
Yeah, but it's like juvenile in like a smart way, which I think is what those movies always were.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I hope people dig this. I mean, I just hope for the sake of comedies in theaters, it's great to go to a theater and see. And also, Ronald, the crowd we saw it with, it had that nice effect of like there were rolling little waves of laughter at certain points. There's one moment that got me, the moment that got me giggling so much. I won't spoil. I couldn't even really make it sound that funny. But I don't know if you had a particular moment where the movie broke you, and then after that you were just giggly, because that's what happened to me. There was a moment where I was enjoying it, I was laughing, oh, that wasn't as funny, and then there's a moment where it just broke me, and for the rest of the movie I was just kind of smiling. And Steve, credits rolled at 77 minutes.
Oh my god,
it was done.
But there's like 5 minutes of credit gags. You know?
Yeah.
In fact, the credits gag was really funny and bizarre.
What was that?
Well, at the end of the Police Squad show, and I think the Naked Gun movies, they always did the fake freeze frame.
Yeah.
Where everybody would freeze, but it was just everybody holding the freeze. Yeah. And like on the show, there would always be some wild element, like a chimpanzee in the room that didn't freeze and was walking around. But in this, so they do like a spin on the idea of a fake freeze. We shouldn't ruin it, but it's very bizarre.
It's almost like too many cooks. Like, not to be like,
no, it is. It's the thing of like, it's one of those those internet videos where it's like someone's doing like a little silly thing, and then the bad video effect turns on the person and kills them or something. It had that feeling of like existential horror played through video effects. Yeah. No.
Yeah. It's crazy as shit. But yeah, cool movie. It's at a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. It's fun,
That's
man.
great.
Yeah. See it. Get ahead.
Yeah. If I mean, I feel like we say this a lot, but this is the ultimate. If this seems like your thing, then it probably is. Because I know some people that are super fans of the old Abrams Zucker model who were posting nervously about going to see this screening the other night. And every one of them that I saw said like they did it. Like the relief of they didn't just call this Naked Gun and put out some limp, not another teen movie style, even though those movies have funny bits in them. I don't mean to trash them. But, like there's something slightly more valuable about the name The Naked Gun than if this had just been a regular cop movie spoof. If nothing else, that great theme song. But it earns the name. And I do think the little thing of like Leslie Nielsen, it's the obvious trivia. He was a serious actor before he did Airplane. And after that, he was known for comedies. But before that, he wasn't a funny actor, And Liam Neeson, it's not that he's never done comedy, but, like you mentioned, Life is Short. Is that what he was on, Ronald? Or
Yeah.
And then I was thinking of his performance in the Lego movie as the good cop, bad cop. There's little hints that Liam Neeson can do comedy, but this is the first time that he's like been like that thing we talk about on the show that we love is when somebody takes the very things that work for them as a serious actor and makes it the ridiculous thing about this character.
I'll never doubt you're getting Liam Neeson. And I think Pamela Anderson holds her own, man. Like there's some funny scenes where I just wouldn't have imagined that she'd be able to carry it the way that she does, just because it gets so goofy.
Oh, it's
she
ridiculous.
pulls it off. Yeah, she pulls it off. I'm like, all right. Okay.
Her biggest moment is maybe the silliest moment in the whole movie, and it worked. I mean, it was funny to me.
Yeah.
I hope to be able to check it out. I hope it succeeds because, you want to. I mean, we want to see comedy succeed in theaters because it's like this is like a part of the marketing of this movie is like, come see this movie to save comedies. It's like, don't you want to save a comedy? It's like they're really playing into that, and I think it's great marketing, and I hope people care about this movie. I don't know as a brand or a franchise like where it registers, with multiple demographics, beyond people that have a frame of reference for what the franchise was and maybe can continue to, be. But I'm excited to see this for sure. The trailers I thought were great. So,
well, the good news is the trailers have like
nothing.
2% of the gags in the movie.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. Cool. Anything else you guys want to mention before we wrap up?
Congratulations to Superman for beating Man of Steel. I don't know. This
Oh,
felt like a big deal. Like, there was some doubt. And I just think that we're at a pretty cool place where Superman is great. Fantastic Four is great. I'm really feeling good about superhero stuff, man. Like,
oh,
come
dude, for
on,
sure.
damn it.
Well, I saw where someone said that with Fantastic Four, Marvel remembered how to make a Phase One Marvel movie.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of true. It's like because it really is totally self-contained and almost totally self-referential.
Yeah.
There's only the tiniest of little hints of anything
Right.
that you might connect to the other movies. There's really not even the post-credit stuff really reaches outside of this movie, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting observation, but I think it kind of bears out that there's like, yeah, it's cool. We always, July, we when we saw that that Superman was holding on to its release date, and that Fantastic Four was holding on to its release date after moving around and finally finding that spot. It seemed like they were a little too close together, but in a weird way, it made July feel like this really like a lot of anticipation in my little geek heart. So it's nice that both of them worked, that both universes feel like they got the shot in the arm that they need. I don't know how Fantastic Four is doing across the board, but I know that it had a pretty good weekend by today's standards. And I hated to see once again the reminder that Thunderbolts had the worst performing opening weekend
so sad.
of all the Marvel movies this year.
Makes no
Great
sense.
movie, man. Great damn movie.
I hope they don't learn the wrong lesson from that and disregard those characters too much, because I think that team was really something meaningful at the end of that movie. And it'd be a
I
bummer
agree.
if
I think they're
they
too
go-
far in at this point
Yeah.
to let go of that. There's kind of some pieces in play I think that they kind of have to stick with and hope
Right.
they do.
Well, but the truth is, they do also supposedly. I don't know if you've read where Rebecca Romaine Stamos
Yeah.
said she's not sure
done.
that she thinks she's done with X-Men or with Avengers Doomsday, but she's not sure because they're still writing it, while they're filming it. So,
Oh,
but,
no.
but here's
All
the
the
thing,
alarm bells going off like shh.
right? But
Don't make it sound like that.
I will say though that Kevin Feige made a pretty good case for why that's not so alarming, like that they aren't backing away from their method because when it has worked, it's been those movies that people talk about loving. So it's like, and reading about the Fantastic Four in that book I just got, there's an introduction that talks about the Marvel method. And the Marvel method it used to be like typical comic book scripting was the writer would write a detailed description of what should be in every panel and give it to the artist, and the artist goes and draws it. The Marvel method is the artist and the writer work out an outline. The artist goes and draws it, and then the writer puts the dialogue in after that. So there is like a give and take in the process, and the writer's seeing a character that he's never seen before and has to create dialogue for, and the artist is getting his art back with dialogue that may not be what he intended. So I mean, not to say that they're necessarily doing that on purpose, but it did make me think, I wonder if that's something that Kevin Feige is fine with because it's baked into the Marvel thing from the beginning, that it's not just one person saying, here's the script, here's what's written. So it's a little bit of pushback on Kevin Feige's part to that James Gunn thing that's been going around of, we're not going to do anything without a script, which feels like a real slap at Marvel, right? Whenever James Gunn says that. But for Kevin Feige to say, we're not going to change our method, even we're doing quality over quantity, but we're still going to keep doing the thing that's gotten us this far, which is tweaking and getting new ideas and using them up to the last minute. So I don't know. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
But you're right that like if we're talking about all the criticisms of Marvel recently, hearing that Avengers Doomsday, this gigantic movie with 50 stars in it, is one where nobody knows what the actual movie is or the story is, that's pretty crazy.
That's crazy sounding, man.
Yeah. Maybe somebody knows, Ronald.
Maybe.
Do you know?
Hoping.
Are you the guy that knows?
No, I'm hoping that they know because that's next year, right? That's like coming.
So you're a year and a half. So they've got time. They've got time to write and shoot a movie.
God. What a weird place to be in.
Yeah.
Like, in the scope of all like what's going on with all this, like all the just comics. Well, honestly, just movies in general. Like,
everybody's trying to figure out what works right now.
I saw a tweet the other day. It was like, one of those kind of like we had a good tweets. It was like, Superman and Fantastic Four, and like even talking about like the new Jurassic World movie, but specifically the Superman and the Fantastic Four, like to consider and remember that 5 years ago, Endgame made $1.2 billion in its opening weekend.
Lord.
It's just like your brain explodes. Like, for anybody who cares about that, like I and us that we currently do, we obviously talk about this all the time. But it is like it's like you lose track of that, or like it because it is it has like that stamp as like one of the biggest movies ever. But like that weekend that we experienced that release is a unicorn moment, like for box office and movie going, like wherever you fall on. I remember posting something when we saw that opening weekend. It was like, I don't care where you fall on comic book movies, like if you like them, don't like them, have an idea what's going on in these movies. But I really think you should probably try to experience this movie with a crowd this weekend, because it might be one of the last times that it's to that level,
Yeah.
and I do still believe that. And I think that will probably be the case I don't even know if I'll experience it again in my life. Maybe. I hope. I'm trying to be optimistic about that. But like, that was magic. Like, it felt magical, and again, you can critique comic book movies or whatever, but you can't deny that they put butts in seats and people experience something that they may never experience again to that degree. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
1.2 billion
Yeah.
its opening weekend is just absolutely bonkers.
It's the problem is, man, people are gonna keep referencing it for the rest of our lives. It feels like I watched Michael Jordan play basketball. Sure. I mean, there's also LeBron, there's also Stephen Curry, there's also these other
Right.
good versions of things that come out.
Excuse me.
And
I
I was
watch him play
around.
baseball.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Though, like
I do, yeah.
it's okay to like, even though you've witnessed these things live, to
Yeah.
be open to the new versions of things. But people are going to keep harping on it, and I can tell that it's going to
It's
be one
not
of
even,
those
and it's
things.
not even like an apples and oranges thing. I mean, it is an apples and oranges thing at this point. Like, there's
Right,
no way
right.
to compare it
It's not.
anymore.
Yeah.
There will still be movies that make $1 billion, like Deadpool and Wolverine did last year,
Right.
and maybe Spider-Man will, or maybe
But it
Doomsday
doesn't
will.
feel
It's
like
just
it. You know what I mean?
It
Like
doesn't. You're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Because it didn't commandeer the conversation, and it didn't have the sort of weight that, I don't know. There's just like, I bet if you looked at the
Yeah.
list of the biggest grossing films of all time, some of them are like, oh yeah, that one, and the other ones are like, oh yeah, that makes sense that it would be,
Yeah.
I mean, Avatar will be the one that everybody's gonna be like, "Do you remember?" I physically don't remember being in the seat watching that movie, man. I remember
I do remember watching
visuals,
Avatar, the
but
first
I don't
one.
remember people going like. I don't remember people coming out of the theater like, "Oh man, what the
Well,
fuck?"
Avatar is like the antithesis of like these comic book movies where like they burn hard fast. Where
Yeah.
Avatar it's big, but it stays big for like a month or two.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why it makes $1 billion, $2 billion, whatever any of them. Like Avatar 2 still made, I don't even remember. It was like $2 billion.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Like, seeing the trailer for Avatar, the third one attached to Fantastic Four, which was awesome to watch in IMAX, by the way.
Yeah.
And I mean, wherever you fall on it, like you can see why people go to the movies for that kind of stuff.
People want those experiences.
I do not like the Na'vi character design. Period. I just don't like the way they look. But the world looks incredible, and the detail looks incredible. I'll tell you what looked really cool to me, and I don't even know how cool the overall movie looks to me. But there's a shot or two in that Tron Ares trailer that just looks incredible to me. The scene with all the light cycles like taken off. Like the light cycle motorcycles like taken off from like the building, and it's all these lines going through. That's I mean, I just thought that was insane looking. I kind of can't wait for that. Henry was like, "Is Tron good?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. It's cool looking." And he was like, "Should I watch it?" And I was like, "Well, do you think it looks cool?" And he said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, maybe you should watch it then," because that's kind of what it is. That I think that's the thing. Tron exists in this space where we all agree that it looks cool.
Yeah.
And therefore we're always open to, if someone says, "Hey, we're going to try again," you're like, "Sure." Like, go ahead. It might really click this time, I don't remember the first one being great, but I remember it being really awesome looking. The second one, I don't remember much about it at all, except that it was cool looking. So if this one is the same, that's probably all right. But it does seem like maybe there's room for a good story in that world. And I know there are some people who seem to be such big fans of it. I assume there must be comics or games or something that expands on the lore, because the lore from the movies, I just don't see what universe is there, but clearly it's an IP that they believe in. What do you guys think of Tron?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am looking forward to seeing it. I mean, I'm not the biggest Tron
Yeah.
fan, but I
You're not a
do feel
Tron
like
head?
I'm not a Tron head. I do love the Tron ride at Magic Kingdom though. Um,
Well, that might be
and
it. That might be why people get excited. I really don't know what's the big
I
Tron
mean, they have a
property that
ride
people
for it at
love. Yeah.
Disney. I mean, like it's a cool vibe. Like you
Yeah.
have Daft Punk involved, and like the music at the ride is awesome. But yeah, I don't know. Like I don't think I'm a huge fan of any of the films. I definitely appreciate, especially the original one, and even the second one. I thought is still like an entertaining. I like the second one, and I think this one looks this about the same to me. You know, like entertaining, very cool to look at. I don't know, how great the movie will be, but I definitely am excited to see it for sure.
I'm ready. If you want to watch something with some lore in it, Tron Uprising from 2012 is one of those things that gives a little backstory. It's beautiful, it's fun.
Cool.
And I think that that was kind of the in between thing that kind of helped Legacy kind of be more palatable to
Yeah.
people. But Legacy seems like one of those movies that is moving up people's lists. I think when it first came
It
out, I
does.
think the idea of it was a little hard for people to understand because I think what people wanted was Daft Punk, like chopped up samples, Daft
Mm,
Punk. And what they got was, like a soundtrack. You got like a soundtrack and layered sounds and, like just beds of cool music with, some playing around on the keyboard. Like I think people got something a little simpler than they thought they'd get with this version of Daft Punk for
hmm
Tron Legacy. But it keeps moving up. I keep hearing about it. Every year I hear about it more. It's a strange sort of thing. And I think that once
Yeah.
there's a physical release that comes out supposedly this year for it, I think that'll help it a little more too. And once they upgraded on all the streamers, like Apple and all that stuff, a 4K version that people have kind of been wanting to see because this movie deserves for you to see it in the highest quality possible. But Tron Legacy is one of those movies, I swear. I keep hearing about it more and more and more as the years go by, and it was pretty much critically panned when it first came out. I don't remember
Yeah.
people speaking positively about it at all. So we shall
Yeah.
see. But yeah, I'm excited about Aries. Like,
It looks good.
give me Jared Leto, Jodie Turner. I mean, I have a deep crush on this girl. I see
Yes.
her. She is intensely beautiful, and it's every time she's in something, she's striking enough that it doesn't matter what it's about. She's also kind of synonymous with quality too. If she's in it, I'm like, I'll pretty much like this thing because she typically is in good things
Hmm.
Mm.
too. So
She was in James Bond, right?
she
2025. The which one?
Wasn't she?
don't she that's
Naomi.
the other lady because I did that too when I first saw the trailer. That's the other lady. That's the younger British lady. Two British ladies. Uh,
I don't think Jodie Turner Smith's in Bond, is
she
she?
should be though, but it was the other lady. She was in the mini series about the serial killer. I think
No, she wasn't in
she's
Bond.
in the Woman King. I know you're talking
Okay,
about.
so she was in the Woman King, but I mean, she was
Talking
in
about the Woman
she was
King
in the
lady.
Acolyte,
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
and she was in Bad Monkey.
Bad
Bad
Monkey.
Monkey.
She was in what's it? Queen and Slim.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in my dreams.
Oh,
I forgot
also
about
she was
it.
in Sex Education. She was God in Sex Education.
Oh man, that makes
Did you ever
sense.
watch that show? I love that show.
Yeah.
Netflix show.
Yes. Yeah, she was in a bunch of stuff, but yeah, Jodie Turner. Pacey. I always say she used to be married to Pacey for a
Oh
moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Jonathan Jackson.
Yeah.
Joshua Jackson.
Yeah, and The Agency. The Agency I really liked. Did you see The Agency?
I started it, but I did not finish it.
It is good.
It is
It's
good.
not. It
Okay.
is not great, but it is good.
It is good. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
All
Oh,
right.
you know
well,
what? You know what it is? I'm realizing now what it is that I saw. I saw there's Jodie Turner Smith. There has been speculation at some point that she would be playing the next James Bond. That's what I saw
Ah,
in
okay.
relation to her.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure when that was going around. But
And again, we weren't talking about Ronald's dreams, right?
no, unless web searches now search your dreams.
Hey,
Ronald,
man.
Ronald,
AI,
have you
baby.
uploaded
He's
your
tapped in.
personality?
I did.
Tapped in.
But yes,
How
you were
about that,
saying.
Jodie Turner? Hey,
That's the moral of this episode. Jodie Turner Smith.
yeah.
We like her.
We like that. I like.
All right, cool. Movieshmovie.com is the website. You can go there to listen to the podcast, subscribe to it on your platform of choice if you want the audio, traditional listening experience. There's also youtube.com/movieshmovie podcast, which you can watch the podcast, the full podcast, snippets of the podcast. You can also listen. There's so many options, so many places. I'm sure you could find one. If you're listening to this and hearing that, you found one. Thank you. But tell someone else about it because we would really like that as much, if not more. But stick with us. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week. I don't know what we'll be talking about, but I'm sure it'll be exciting. Beyond John's pick vacancy for required viewing, who knows what'll come up between now and then. We have 7 days to figure something out. And that's more than enough time, guys. More than enough time. And I also want to point out, I want to thank Ronald's computer and ISP for not glitching one time during this recording because there was a very big concern. You know what? IT support, number one, reboot.
Reboot.
Yeah.
Even if you were just rebooted.
Even if sometimes, you know what?
Sometimes you got to do it twice.
Repetition equals success.
Yeah.
And
I find that sometimes you got to reboot and then you got to turn around and kind of like look at the computer like this.
like not look at it and to kind of
while it's
side eye it.
rebooting.
Yeah.
Just give it a little side eye.
Like, I'm gonna let you do your thing, but no, I'm watching.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to lean down on it and say, I'll just turn you right off, bitch.
Yeah, like I fucking
I'll
can
turn you
plug
right
your ass,
off.
and your battery will run out.
Turn you right off. You won't
Thankfully,
remember.
you didn't have to do that tonight. All you had to do is let it restart twice.
I'll turn you on and it'll be 2006 to you.
And you won't be able to boot because you're so out of date. What is this world that won't accept me for who I am?
Funny when I did it where like a
I think Schmovie Studios just got onto a new possible IP property right there.
Oh man.
And a laptop wakes up in 2060 after being turned off for 25 or 35 years. Sounds like a Seth Rogen animated series on Amazon. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. As always, you've made our day. Thanks.
Bye.
What other errands do you have us running for the DA?